If you're still limping around somewhere here in Las Vegas and you've tried a bunch of different things with some doctors and you're just not getting better, it's not your fault. The reason it's not working is because you don't have the right diagnosis potentially, and you're not getting all of the available treatment options presented to you. With over 2.5 decades of treating patients with chronic heel pain and about 15 years here, specifically in Las Vegas, I can tell you that this is a common story. I've seen many patients come through my door with the same story of, Doc, I have plantar fasciitis. I was treated by this other doctor, or I bought some over-the-counter inserts. I Googled what to do, and nothing seems to be working, right? It's always the same reason for most of the patients walking through the door. By the end of this video, you will know why treatments that you've tried, either at home with yourself or with other physicians, have not really worked out for you. You're going to learn what a complete heel pain evaluation involves, and you're going to look at what treatment can be focused on repairing the tissue, hitting the right target, and getting exactly what you need to get rid of this problem, hopefully for good. So if you're ready to see someone in Las Vegas who works differently, that might be me. The treatments you've already tried were performed in good faith by the doctors that you saw. They were the standard of care, and standard of care means exactly that. It's standard. It's not above and beyond care. So the problem isn't that they're wrong in what they're doing. The problem is that they're incomplete. Most of the time when someone gets treated for plantar fasciitis, if it's just not resolving with, let's say some initial treatment, the next level of standard of care is cortisone. Well, it is a very powerful anti-inflammatory, but it doesn't repair the tissue in any possible way. It actually damages tissue. Part of the process of getting rid of the pain is damage to the local tissues. And we know this now, which is why I barely use cortisone in my practice. It weakens whatever you're putting it into. Usually also part of the standard of care treatment is getting orthotics, whether they're over-the-counter ones or custom made by podiatrists. What's interesting is, I see a lot of people say, well, I spent $500 on custom orthotics. They didn't do anything for me. The thing is, if you have a diseased and damaged plantar fascia, and then you put an orthotic in there, it's not going to fix that. Yes, it's going to remove the load on the fascia or the stretch, and eventually maybe it'll get better if you do other things, but you really can't expect it to repair itself by managing the load. It just doesn't work. Where does physical therapy fit in? Well, when sequenced properly, physical therapy can be very, very valuable. But if you have someone with an inflamed, swollen plantar fascia and you go send them to physical therapy, it would not be uncommon for them to come back and say, hey, that may be worse. So the process is working backwards. You want to heal the tissue, then do the therapy, not do the therapy and then heal the tissue. Sequencing of treatment matters, right? What all three of these share in common that we talked about is the central question. Why is this tissue not repairing itself? What is your body doing, or what are you doing that's not allowing the tissue to repair itself? Until you answer that question and address it directly, you're managing a problem that's going to keep coming back. So most patients come and see me after they've had failed treatment somewhere else. Yes, it's always nice to get a new patient in. So what do? Number one, we get x-rays. You want to make sure that you're looking through the diagnostic tools that you have available. And for me, after you take that x-ray, you may or may not see a heel spur there on the bottom or in the back. And I always ask my medical assistant when they come to me with a new patient and they say, hey, doc, we got so-and-so and they're here with heel pain, blah, blah, blah. It hurts with this and that. I said, well, what's my favorite question? My favorite question is, does it hurt when they're on their feet, off their feet, or both? And if the answer is off their feet and both, it's almost always has a nerve component to it. And then when I do that ultrasound picture and I see a normal fascia, 95 times out of 100, it's probably going to be some sort of nerve problem and most likely tarsal tunnel syndrome. And so this probably was never assessed by your previous doctor. That has to be in your diagnostic. Number one, if someone comes in with heel pain, you look for plantar fasciitis, however you want to pronounce it or call it, and then tarsal tunnel syndrome. Those are the two things that are primarily going to be causing chronic heel pain. Anything else is sort of esoteric and secondary. Okay, the other thing that you want to look at too is the overall health of the patient, right? If someone comes in and they're an avid runner and they weigh 140 pounds and they're 5'5", they probably have a good diet. They're probably metabolically in homeostasis. You don't need to worry. But let's say you have someone who's 5'7" and weighs 240 pounds. That's a different story. Now you're looking at someone who is not really probably doing much with their diet. They don't think much about nutrition, probably eating a lot of sugar or sugar in their foods. They're not discerning about what they're eating. When we get all of these things in the picture, we take an x-ray, we take a good history, we get an ultrasound and maybe order a nerve test, all those things, we're now going to be able to really pinpoint down what the diagnosis is and make sure we have the proper treatment protocol. So if this is landing for you and you're like having an aha moment when I'm talking about some of these things, and I want you to keep seeing this type of content where we dive deep into the chronic causes of not only heel pain, but other issues as well, please subscribe right now. Hit that like, hit the subscribe, wherever they are, and we'll keep posting regularly so that we can update you with new videos. And the next video will go further onto the metabolic and nerve pieces of lower extremity foot and ankle pain. So hit subscribe so you don't miss them. The treatment options available to, let's say, the majority of people that get treated for plantar fasciitis are in the standard of care that we talked to before. But when we get something where we see patients who've had that standard of care and they come to me for treatment, I'm going to offer something that they probably were never offered, or when they were offered, didn't have really high thoughts about it, or maybe thought they couldn't afford it. It wasn't even offered to them at all. And I want to be concrete and specific about what that actually means. So what I'm talking about is regenerative medicine. So we can deliver regenerative medicine, usually some sort of placental tissue or sometimes a peptide, directly into the area of damage using ultrasound to put it right where the problem is. Now, the two primary agents that I like to use for regenerative medicine in the plantar fascia and the Achilles for that matter, because basically the Achilles is the continuation underneath. So once you have Achilles, it wraps around the heel, it becomes the plantar fascia. And that's just an anatomic name change. So my number one, starting regenerative medicine is Wharton's jelly. What is that? It's tissue taken from the placental tissue or the umbilical cord, and it is so powerful. It contains collagen, growth factors, angiogenic factors, all the things that can make that tissue heal and replace and signal your body to heal itself. When you add RPA, regenerative protein array, to it, now you've got the best thing on the planet to heal that tissue. The RPA actually has microRNA in it, which actually can literally write the code to tell your diseased tissue, hey, this is all bad. Let's get it out. It's like a brick wall, right? If you have a brick wall and some of the bricks are falling apart or the cement in between is no good, that can easily equate to that fascia. You go in, you knock out some of those bricks, you clear it out, clear out the disease, and then you lay down new brick with new cement. Well, that's exactly what happens when you use Wharton's jelly and RPA. So what's nice about using regenerative medicine is it can be done right in the office. There's no anesthesia other than sometimes we use local anesthesia for sure. You come in, you get the injection, you walk out. You just have to take it easy for a couple of weeks and then let the regenerative medicine do its thing. You can usually resume fairly normal activity in a week or two. And the timeline is important because I don't want you to think this is like cortisone, because it's not. Your tissue is literally going to heal itself, and that doesn't happen overnight or in a couple of days. Your body has taken months or even a year to attempt to heal itself, and it hasn't done that. So if we can get you healed in 6 to 10 weeks somewhere, depending on how much damage there is, you have to respect that time, okay? So the improvement that you get once it's done is durable. It's going to hold up. So you just have to stay with the program. If you cycle through cortisone every few months, all you're doing is resetting the delay and causing more tissue damage. So you want to respect that. I just mentioned prolotherapy a little bit, and I want to put a name to that we use in my office called glucopuncture. And glucopuncture is a type of prolotherapy where we use 5% dextrose and we inject it with a small needle, kind of like an acupuncture needle, a little thicker. And we just put a little bit down through the subcutaneous tissue and fascia, because the fascia, we can help repair it by creating this stimulus with this sugar water. I was amazed when I first heard about it that this is something that can help people. I've been using it now for 3+ years, and I can tell you it has proven to be remarkable, and I use it on myself at least once a month. The other thing that we can do as well is red light therapy. Our body works off of sodium, potassium channels and things, electrical and impulses and neurons. And all these things are affected by light, the sun giving us vitamin D and helping us there. And so these wavelengths of light and frequency, when they hit our bodies, they do things to our cells. And red light therapy can also be very good at reducing inflammation and helping our metabolism. We previously talked about the importance of metabolic health. So, what does this mean? If we identify that you have a metabolic problem, whether it's prediabetes, actual diabetes, thyroid problem, just some sort of autoimmune disease with inflamed markers, those need to be addressed. Now, whatever regenerative treatment we're going to give you, or even glucopuncture, is going to work far better than if we did it when your body was all inflamed and just, it would be like putting a little drop into a fire. We want to use a fire hose whenever possible, not just a little couple drops. Okay. So for patients, when that piece is present, you have to treat it. It's not optional. So what do you do if you're here in Las Vegas and you've had heel pain and it's not going away? What are we going to do? We're going to write down some questions and you're going to be prepared for the next time you go see your own doctor, or if you want to come see me for treatment. You want to know, how long have you had this? When did it start? Every treatment that you've already had done, what worked, what didn't work, what you thought worked, if it didn't work, who gave it to you, if you have any relevant history, such as diabetes, pre-diabetes, trying to lose weight, but you can't, any lab work you've had recently would be helpful, any nerve testing. All of these are going to make your visit very productive. When you book an appointment with your specialist, one of the things you want to ask is, am I going to have an ultrasound exam when you go in? And the answer should be yes. If that's what you want, that's what you'll get. So in other words, the doctor should have an ultrasound machine that's in their office. Also ask whether or not your nerves will be assessed. And then also you might want to know, is the doctor going to order any labs for me to see if I have inflammation in my body or something else going on that might be contributing to my diagnosis? And so if you ask those questions, you get the right answers, then you're going to know whether or not your appointment will be valuable. What makes this appointment different is the completeness of the picture that is taken by the provider. A provider who only looks at your foot and maybe hears your symptoms and then treats that, it's not looking at the whole scope of everything that we talked about: metabolism, your sleep, your stress, your job, what footwear you have to do, all the diagnostic tools at hand. All of that stuff is not going to get you to where you need to wind up. The evaluation I described in this video is built to find out what the standard of care routinely leaves out. And for patients arriving after a year or two of being treated with the standard of care and not getting better and failing, that completeness is what changes the outcome of how you're going to do. So here at 7150 West Sunset Road in Las Vegas, the link to reach us is in the description. If you need an appointment and you want to get treated with a complete diagnostic evaluation and have all of the options offered to you, I'm happy to do that. We see cases specifically because of their complexity. If you liked what you saw and you're not getting anywhere wherever you are, and you don't want a repeat of what you already did, I'd be happy to see you and offer you my opinions and treatment options for you. Chronic heel pain isn't something you manage around for the rest of your life. What we need to do is repair whatever is damaged. That's the key to fixing and curing any of these issues. So the right evaluation and diagnosis gives you what's possible. So a lot of people believe, no, there was nothing else I can do. They're just going to have to live with it. That's just not the way it is. When you understand and treat it appropriately, you can leave with a very different picture and hopefully a resolution to your symptoms so you can get back to your life and stop thinking about your heel pain. Thanks so much. Dr. Bregman here. Like and subscribe. Take care.